was HMIS, or not the coordinated entry training, the general system training was HMIS. CE, as you know, has a couple extra components. And so Shamika is really the expert here. And I know she'll chime in and correct me if I get anything wrong. But I'm going to walk us through the CE workflow, kind of highlighting the extra steps that are necessary, and then we'll have time for questions. So I'm going to start by just searching for the client. So we're going to use Han Solo, like we typically do. And so we'll just search, and he comes up. We have built out your kind of top area, which is similar to the tabs that you used to have, kind of in the order of operations that Megan thinks is the best workflow to follow. And so the first thing you're going to see is the profile screen. Again, you're going to want to verify information if they're already a client, or enter information completely. I already forgot something. You can see up here at the top, it says that they don't have a release of information. It gives you a kind of a banner. You can manage that by either clicking on the client privacy shield, or by clicking manage. I'm going to click manage. And what pops up is basically the client privacy shield screen. And you're just going to add a release of information. I think we talked about for CE that you all will probably mostly still be doing verbal, since many of your CEs are on the phone. It's defaulted the dates, where our ROI does not expire. So the default dates in here are 10 years after the date of the release of information. But since you're going to be doing verbal, you do need to change that. Still going to be good for a month. So in this case, it's going to be 8/11/23 that you're going to select. And then for documentation, you would select verbal consent. If you are going to be doing the paper ROI, there's not going to be a need to change the date. It's actually not paper, but if you're going to be doing the electronic ROI, there's not a need to change the date. It's going to kind of auto do that 10 years. You're going to select electronic signature, then click this e-sign document, and up this pops. So people can sign with the mouse, or if you have a touch screen, they can sign on the screen for you. Megan also has a couple of the signature pads, and was going to, I think, look into possibly getting more so people could sign via that method, but they're just going to sign. You're going to sign. You want to hit apply both times, and you want to make sure they check whether or not they're willing to let us get housing history from other HMIS implementations. This is really helpful when we can't get homeless history out of our HMIS system, or people are struggling, or the shelter in Winston-Salem won't call somebody back. This way we can just reach out and get a report from Micah, the former system that we had. Wake County and NCCEH don't require any special permission. So you're just going to click save.
Hey, Mary Ann, if I may ask you a question, would you scroll? Yeah, I was just, so these are the basics things that we can explain to people for their informed consent, and they can just use our mouse and put their signature. Okay, got you. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was there somewhere.
Yeah, sorry, it kind of auto defaults to the signature location when you first click into it. But if you scroll up, they can read themselves, or you can just go over it with them. It's probably best to do maybe a little bit of both, depending upon, we never know people's literacy levels. So as much as we can give them the information as well.
Do we have hard copies that we can have handy so that people can also look at them or, receive a copy if needed?
Yeah, we do. We can
Send that
send
to
that
us.
out after the
Thank you.
meeting.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay.
And did I see a hand for Kamala?
Couple of hands up. Dawn was first, then Camacho.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, y'all. Is there any way you can enlarge the screen? Because it's really hard to kind of see the.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
yes,
that-
much better. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. All right. I can't really see all the hands, Megan. So can you call on
Oh,
people?
Kamalis, did you have a hand up?
Yeah, my screen went black for about 30 seconds. How did you get to the ROI? How did you get to this?
Hold on, let me see. I think what happened. Now I've made it so big I can't get out of it. Hold on.
Nice.
I don't know what's happening. Hold on. Okay, so let me just get back. So when you're on the profile screen, which is where you'll land after you search for the client and pull them up, if they don't have an existing release in the system, there's going to be this orange bar up here that says manage that tells you they need one. But the other way you can get there is just by clicking this little shield. And so you can click either or, it'll take you to the same location. And when you click on it, there's the privacy thing, which this is what you're going to toggle on if they refuse consent. But you're going to add a release of information down here at the bottom where this plus is. And again, for the electronic or paper ROIs, it defaults to 10 years, so nothing has to change. If you're doing verbal, you need to change that to reflect 30 days. And then the ROI appears depending upon what you select down here. So if you select verbal, nothing's going to appear. But if you select electronic signature, you're going to get this little button that says e-sign document. And so that's where you're going to click. And that's where the release is. And so the client's going to sign, you're going to sign, going to hit apply, click the box down here for homeless history, and then just hit save. Is that okay from a size perspective still, Dawn? I don't know why it was being weird. Can you see, is this big enough or should I make bigger?
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done the release of information, you saved the changes, and see the changes are saved successfully because there'll be a little green bar here. You can then hit cancel. That's going to take you back to the main screen, or you can just navigate back to the profile screen by clicking profile. You all are able to update social security numbers, which is something you previously couldn't do. So it is masked when you first look at it. But if you mouse over this little shield, well, I think you all actually could update socials. If you mask over this little shield and click on edit, you'll be able to edit the social security number. And whenever you edit it, you just want to make sure you're selecting the correct data quality. And the same thing for this quality of name and quality of date of birth. These are showing up as errors on the APR when these are not selected. So you just want to make sure that you're selecting them.
And if we don't select it, will it let you save?
Well, here,
Hopefully not.
I think no, that was from our other system. So yeah, so you'll get this red bar that says, please correct errors because you did not select something.
Praise
so
the Lord.
Important to select something, also important to select the right thing. So if they gave
Yes.
their full name, you don't want to put client doesn't know. You want to put full name. So once you've
Please
made
make
any,
sure everyone hears that. Thank you.
once you've made any changes there on the profile screen, you're just going to click save. Again, you're going to see that green bar to know that it worked. And the next one you have is contact information. So, you know, we had contact information in a bunch of different places in the other system. This puts it all in one location. And so you're going to click add contact. You want to not only get the client contact information, you also want to potentially get emergency contact. I can tell you, we get requests from DSS whenever there are people who have kind of who've passed away and they need a next of kin. So it's really helpful to have that emergency contact to provide, so we're able to actually connect with someone who might have known the client. So you can put the email in there. You can put a secondary phone number if they have it. If it's an active contact, it would be here, when the date was that you got it. You know, sometimes we see notes like Wi-Fi phone, or we'll get minutes.
Or how about
next
client
week.
doesn't have a phone right now, the phone's not working, or, I mean, I'd rather not leave that blank. I'd rather put, like, we know something, we tried to find something. Can't we, you know, can we do that? Like,
Yeah, whatever you want. That's not a required field, but you can put some kind of thing in here, like you
Okay.
said, phone not working, or we'll get minutes next week, or something like that. So you
Yeah.
hit save, and then if you want to go back out and you put the client's contact in there, but now you also want to put their emergency contact in there, you're gonna put, the only addition is that you're gonna put the name, the date, and then, you know, client's aunt or something like that.
Yeah.
Or what you could put there. And then, you know, once you hit save, you can hit cancel and it'll take you back to that screen. Say you have a client and this was their phone number last time you talked to them, but now it's new. You can go in here, click the edit pencil, turn off active, and hit save changes. So we know that that's not a good number anymore, and it kind of disappears, and then you can go in and add a different contact. So that's kind of what that active contact toggle does. It tells us whether or not that's a good number. So maybe if you're doing follow-ups and you call someone and the number doesn't work, it would be good to go in there and hit toggle this off so that we know that it's not a good number anymore. And that's really helpful when we're you know, trying to reach out to people for housing or other resources they might be eligible for. Okay.
And
so
that
I'm gonna,
happens a lot, y'all. We try to reach people, not only if we have to exit them or we have to find them because they're eligible for a housing option. Very important. Thank you.
okay. So the next thing, the next tab over, if you will, is the notes tab. And so when you want to add a client note, you're just going to hit note, title the note. It could be CE note. The categories, there aren't any categories right now, so it's just going to be no category. If you wanted to, you could say how long you spent with them or not. And then
That
this
one's
is
not
where
required.
it's not required. And then you're going to put your client information here. So you have some formatting options, right? Like some
Right.
people like to do like bullets and just do their notes out that way. Or if you want to bold something, or you want to do it like you do it by count. But Megan, do you want to talk a little bit about the information that you want included here?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like with this process, notes are going to be super duper important, and these are going to be visible. So per usual, let's make sure we write them in a respectful way as if the client's reading them, but also in a helpful way that, you know, case managers can benefit from them because they often resort to the notes. And we want to make them holistic and inclusive of, like, you know, we have the template. I'll send it back out again, but just, you know, client call the CE phone line, you know, where they're staying, how long they've stayed there, you know, the whole housing homeless history, health and wellness, legal credit, anything. And then most important, like when we wrap it up, it's like what their goals are and what the action steps are for the client and what you've agreed to do, you know, just all that. I'll send the template out again, but these, more so than ever, we're going to have a lot of detail up in this because, you know, it's not going to be like we can scroll around and see everything. We need to have everything right there. And that way you can also refer back to it. It also kind of helps you just fill in the rest, so you don't have to ask questions over and over. So anyway, I don't know. Anybody else have any comments on notes?
I didn't have a
Notes?
comment. This is Bermuda. I didn't have
Hi,
a
Bermuda.
comment on notes, but I had a comment on context when you add the person's family.
Okay, what do you mean?
Okay, so if Hans had a family, we're just gonna do the same process over and over by adding Hans' family under him,
Oh, you mean the household
the household.
members?
Yes.
Yeah, so Hans has one household member. And so you would want to do probably, I mean, this is a child, so you're not going to enter any contact information here. But if this was an adult, you could just go over here. Sorry, click the wrong button.
Excuse me,
enter-
Marianne. Excuse me. Could you set it up so that it is a head of household? That's basically what we deal with.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know why it says not set. I thought I already set that. Let me. Oh yeah, it is already set. Hands, so it's kind of confusing because it's the same name, but Hands with an S is the head of household, and then what Han is the son, and that appears over here on the side. And when you do the program entry or enrollment, you'll be able to add the household members. But if you need to update profile information, you're gonna click on
The edit button.
Yeah, thank you. And it'll pop you over here, and you can update the profile information. Here it says no contact information, but it also doesn't make sense for them to have contact information, right? Because they're 4. But if they were an adult and they had contact information, you would just go under here and add their information. And if you didn't want to add, like maybe they had the same emergency contact, you could add it here, or you could say see profile, blah, 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 if you wanted to do that. But what you were asking?
Well, wait a minute. So each time we're adding a family member, we're going back to the profile, or we're staying in contacts?
Or can we not go to the manage button and under household members?
We asked them out, okay, because, all right, let's just do it. Let's just add somebody. So maybe that'll be helpful. So here we are in Hands. He's the
Head of household.
head of household. Thank you. And say we've got his son, but maybe also he has a wife. And so we go here and we click that manage button for household management, and we want to add his wife. So we search to see if she's in there, and she actually is already in there. So you would click join.
Okay.
And then it says the client's already in the household. So we're gonna, maybe she was dating somebody else in HMIS, but now she's married to this person. So you would transfer them over.
Wonder Woman. Ooh.
And then they're the wife. And so you're gonna click save, and that's gonna add them over here
Okay.
to the right. So, and then say, I'm not gonna add too many people, but say there was a daughter you needed to add to. Same scenario, you would just click join. They were already in a different household, you would transfer them over, select the right household, whatever this is called, type, person type, and then just add them on over. And so now you've got Han Solo, who's got a daughter, a wife, and a husband, or and a son. They're the head of household. So their member type is not set, but let's just call him husband. And so if you were in Hans's profile and you wanted to go update anyone else in the household, they would all be listed right here.
Okay.
And then likewise, it's like maybe maybe Hans and Wonder Woman like broke up.
Mhm.
So you could go here and exit them from the household
Oh,
and say
okay.
like the date they broke up. So it's all kind of over here on this right hand side, this management of the household. And then so if you needed to, for example, put contact information or update the social, or maybe there's a last name change for one of the household members, you just click on it and then you'll see there's not a release, but they're a child, so they would be included in their parents' release. But if you needed to add contact information or whatever, and you can just get back to whoever's profile by going over here on the right hand side and clicking the pencil. Any other questions about that one? It's kind of like, remember how in the entry exits, it would have over on the left, the list of the household members. It's similar, except for you're just clicking the edit pencil instead of directly clicking on it. And it's on the right-hand side now. Okay, so I'm gonna keep
Mary Ann.
moving. Yep.
Mary Ann, those individuals that you added, they were already in the database. And
Mhm.
so what if you added a household member that was not in the database? Would it be the same as you added the new client, the new head of household?
Yeah, so you could go over here. The first thing you're gonna do is like click to see if they're there and hit search. And we see that they're not there. And so what we need to do then is add the client. And Tamika, I'm gonna lean on you. I need to go
So
back here under search, right?
exactly. So when you're adding new client, when you search in that screen and you see that they're not there, you're going to click on that search icon that Mary Ann just did to take you back to the dashboard. And you're going to click on that add new client and just add the client separate. So on this screen, and then you go back into the head of household and manage the household and add that new client that you added.
Can you run us through that real quick, just so we understand that?
Yeah,
If you don't mind, thank you.
sure. So you searched for the person, they're not in the database. And so I'm just going to take us back to where we were. So we're here. We clicked under manage. We searched, nothing came up. So we're going to click this little search magnifying glass up here to get us back to the main screen. Click add client. And then got a partial social. Oh, great. See, this is good because it helps you prevent duplicates. This pop-up that says that there's already a social like that.
That's great.
Let me see. I don't even know.
How about 666-9999?
Okay, let's try that one. That's not one in there. And so this let's just say their last name's client and their first name's Tess. This is their full name. Their birthday is 1/01/1995. That's their full birth date. They don't have a middle name. They identify as female. Their race is Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander. As you all know, you can check as many as you want here.
Oh,
But I'm
hot
just going
dog.
to check one.
Please try to
Ethnicity,
avoid refused or client doesn't know, you know?
and
Please.
then I'm going to select no for veteran status, but like we learned in Shamika's training, when you select yes, there's some additional questions that pop up for veteran status. So we're going to click add record.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm going to do is click the search bar again, go back to Hans's profile, hit manage. I say, test client.
Mm-hmm.
And now they appear there. So I can click add. I can click who they are. Maybe this is sister, and save. And now they're part of their household also.
Nice. So you can't select head and household? No, you did. He has this ash star next to him. How did that? Okay, how did you do that?
Well, because, hold on. Go back. When you're under manage, if you click that pencil, you can determine who the head of household is.
Oh, okay, there. Okay, got it.
And previously it used to be that you would select self. This actually has the person's name.
Excellent.
And so I have
It makes it easier. Right on. This is like foolproof. Ooh, someone has their hand up. Who's that?
Terry, it's me, Terry. Marianne, would you go through the veterans piece, please?
Yep.
We get a lot of veterans here, and I need a better understanding of what I'm supposed to do.
Yep. So if you put yes for veteran, there's more options that pop up. We asked if this could be removed, but it cannot. And so you're going to want to know the year that they, like, say, what year did you join the Army? Maybe it's 1990. When did you leave the Army? 1994. And then you kind of know some of these answers based on what they said. So one thing Megan taught me that I didn't know is you can hit tab and then either the letter Y or the letter N to fill these
Makes
in.
it a lot quicker, y'all, than selecting.
So you know that.
Marianne, I'm sorry, your voice faded out. I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, so you can click, like, see where my cursor's here? You can click tab and then hit the letter either Y or N. If it's a yes, no question, and it'll auto-populate for you, so you don't have to click on it.
All right, great.
And then, but some of these, you know, based on when they were in the military, that they're going to be no, right? They were in the military starting in 1990. So they would not be in World War II. They would not be in the Korean War. They would not be in the Vietnam War. Can't remember when Persian Gulf started. I think it was like in the 90s. But these you might want to ask. Did you serve you might want to ask, did you serve overseas in any operations, right? And so if they're like, yeah, I served in Afghanistan, but they don't say anything else, you know, you can just select no for the rest of them. They also want to know what branch of the military were you in, and do you know your discharge status? Most people do, so you would select whatever they said, but if they don't, the client doesn't know, and hit save.
Okay.
So just some extra questions required in this system if somebody indicates that they're a veteran.
We had that a long time ago too.
So I have another question about this, Marianne. So how do I add if the person served in more than one branch of the military?
Well, that I don't know, Terry. We'll have to ask.
Because I have had folks who've done
Yes,
that.
for the ones, like, if they served in veteran and Korean, you just say yes.
No. If they served in like the Army and maybe the Air Force, because I've had several folks who've done service in different branches.
Got you.
Yeah, let us ask about that. So Shamika, do you know? I don't know.
No, I'm asking now though.
Okay. Shamika's gonna find out that for us because we
All right,
don't know.
thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so again, anytime you change something to the profile screen, you just want to make sure you hit save changes. You know it worked because you get the green bar. We've gone through contacts. We've gone through notes. I'm just going to put a test one in here so we can see what it looks like once we've entered it. You're going to click add record, and then you can click cancel, or you can click notes again. This is what it will look like. There's also a feature here that you can use called public alerts. So maybe this is important information that needs to get to the client if somebody finds them, like
Housing match.
Housing match is a good one. Expires whenever, maybe it expires in a month. Have client reach out to Megan, and then you hit save, and then cancel. And so that appears, you see where it appears on their profile screen. So if they touch anywhere else in the system, somebody looks at the profile screen, they can see that the client has an alert attached to them, and then they can see that they have a housing match, and they can pass that information on to the client. So those are the two things under notes. I think you'll probably use public alerts less, but that is an option. Okay, so the next tab is history. That just tells you.
I got a question on notes.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's just say that if Terry and Bermuda and we saw the same client on the same day and we all had separate notes, do they all appear on one page, or are they on separate pages?
They'd be stacked. So it'll all appear under this notes tab, but they'll just be like stacked on top of each other. So it'll look like this right here. But it'll have Kamala's here, Terry here, Bermuda here to say
I got it. Okay.
who the user was.
All right, thank you.
That's
You're
nice.
welcome. Okay, the history. This is just like kind of an FYI tab. So it'll tell you whether what assessments have been completed with the client and where else they might be enrolled. You can see here, this client has, I'm going to delete this out actually because well, no, I'm not, because I want the data to pull over. They've had a CE on 7-Eleven. They've had the supplemental tool. They're open. It says active, so that means an open entry. So they're working with Hearts for the Invisible. They're enrolled in Link Expansion. I mean, this one has a lot of entries because it's a test client. They had the VI SPDAC completed on 6/30. There's kind of a little key down here for the colors. So this just tells you their history. It gives you more information that might help you redirect them. So maybe there's a open entry at Moore Place, but the client's in your office trying to have a coordinated entry, and this would enable you to see it and maybe kind of redirect them back to their Moore Place case manager or whatever. So that's just kind of FYI screen. And then we get to programs. So programs is where you're going to do the enrollment, just formerly known as the entry exit. And so you're going to go down here where it says programs available, click the down arrow. It'll tell you how many people are currently enrolled in the project. This is an error, by the way, or not an error, but there's many more people in. But this is where you add the people in the project. So you can see Han, the son, is already enrolled. That's just because he's a test client. But if you wanted to add the whole family to the enrollment, you would just toggle that on. And then you click this enroll button. And that takes you to the program enrollment screen, which is similar to the former
entry, exit.
screen.
Okay,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's
And we need to do that
shorter.
on every single member of the household, correct?
Well, yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, these people, everybody's connected to this entry. You can see over here, kind of like that checkbox you used to check at the top, like at the entry, and it's like include these
Mhm.
household members. That's what I just did, was include them. So you can see everybody that's included in this enrollment over here under program group members. And so you're gonna answer the information for Hans. So, where are they coming from? How long were they there? Was that less than 90 days? Do they have a disabling condition? And, if they did have a disabling condition and you selected yes for one of these, then you just need to select, is it long term? You want to select yes. And you see, this is a data quality warning because I have no disabling condition, but I have selected a disabling condition. And so this just tells me,
Excellent.
hey, you need to go fix that. So I'll fix that and the warning goes away. Are they a domestic violence survivor? If it's no, it leaves it as that. If you say yes, they want to know, when was the last occurrence? Are you currently fleeing? Income from any sources. If you say no, that's it, which is different from our old system. If you say yes, you need to go in and toggle on what they have. So maybe they have earned income, $1,200 a month, and maybe they also have SSDI, $300 a month, and you just put in the amount, and then it auto populates down here the total for you. And the other ones, if they don't have the other ones, you just don't toggle them on. Same thing for non-cash benefits. So there's no, so nothing appears. But if you hit yes, they want you to select something. So again, here, another data quality warning. I have yes here, but I haven't toggled anything on. So I'm going to put yes for SNAP. You don't have to put the amount. And
So
then
put it in the notes.
Same thing for health insurance. I'm just gonna, again, I have it set to yes, but haven't toggled anything. So I'm just gonna toggle it on, and that's gonna take care of the data quality issue.
Now
Then,
up ahead. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Oh,
That's it.
nice.
Good catch, Megan.
No,
Okay,
but I was
so
like, awesome.
this is a good point. So, whether all of this is set up with like logic for the fields only to appear if they need to appear. So if somebody was staying in a rental by themselves for a year or more, and the stay has not been less than 7 nights, or the stay has been less than 7 nights, then that's going to be that, right? But more than likely, they're coming from a place not meant for habitation. Maybe they've been out there. That's when your approximate start date pops up. How many times, how many months. But those are gonna appear dependent on, what you select here in the prior living situation and the length of stay. So anyway, then I'm gonna hit save and next. And what that's gonna do is automatically take me to the next family member.
Awesome.
So you don't have to click it. If you hit next, it just takes you there. So Han is the head of household child, no disabling conditions, and no health insurance. And, these are the two that are required for children. Since if they're a child, there's no income or non-cash benefits question. So that's why you don't see it here. So you just hit next again.
And you don't have to do the homeless history there either, right? Because it's
Right.
parts
All
over
of
from the
that.
parent, which makes total sense.
Yeah. And then, kind of this one's a test client. So they've already had their information inputted, but again, it's a child. So all you're going to see is the disabling conditions and the health insurance. I'm going to hit next oh, this one had other health insurance toggled on. You would, I don't know what you would put, Blue Cross. I don't know what you would put here. I think that would probably be rare to use that one, but since it's toggled on, you have to put something there. I'm gonna
Nice.
toggle it off, hit next. And that's gonna take me to, I think this was the wife. And because they're an adult, they do have the homeless history. So again, we're just gonna enter the information in. That might be different based on the adult. I'm gonna put no for the disability, so we don't have to go through that again. No to domestic violence, no to income, no non-cash benefits, no health insurance, and hit save and close. And so now I've enrolled everybody in the program, and you can see over here on the right where it says active, and that means that they have an open enrollment in the program.
Nice.
Are we good? Are we good there? Because I'll keep moving.
Chime in if y'all want to. I mean, I feel like this is pretty intuitive and a lot of foolproof stuff. Nice.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you remember from the training, but Shamika was saying CE will stay up here. I think it's blue on some people's screens, but on mine it's like a charcoal gray. So you're gonna stay up here in the dark.
Left to right.
Yeah, except the only thing you're gonna come down here in the white for these things is the CE events.
Okay.
And so that's what we're doing within the entry. And you just want to complete these if you're doing a referral. So did you refer them to diversion? If yes, were they housed in a safe alternative? When did that happen? What's a note for that? So that might be an event. You might also refer them to an emergency shelter bed. So similar to the last one, you're gonna select the location. So this is kind of a tiered drop down. You would select NC 505, emergency shelter, roof above, and then maybe you referred them to roof above, hit submit, that'll save. You also might refer them to, say, women in transition. Click down again, NC 505. You're going to go down here to transitional housing, and you would select YWCA, women in transition, because that's where you referred them to. So that's the CE events. I think those are kind of the three key ones that you might use. And then you're gonna, once you've done the event, you're gonna pop back up here to the gray and hit assessments. And so this is where the supplemental tool, the VI SPDAT, and the coordinated entry assessment live. And so you're gonna hit start. It tells you a recent assessment's already been done. Are you sure you want to do another one? And this is set for, I think, 90 days. But I'm going to say yes for demonstration purposes.
But under what circumstances would we do another one if one already exists?
Well,
we wouldn't.
Not unless anything has changed.
Okay, but can we go in and edit a coordinated entry if something's changed? Do we have to do a new one?
You could edit it, yeah.
Okay, excellent, thanks.
You're welcome. The only thing is that this, so all the data, it's not doing it here, but I'll fix that. All the data is going to cascade over from the previous assessment. And so like here, I'll fix it. Oh, it's not cascading over because I didn't do it in the last one. But if there's been a previous assessment, all the data from the previous assessment will flow over. So my recommendation is that if you're going to update, do a new one, because it gives you this new date. and the new location.
Okay,
And then you just change what needs to be changed.
all right.
But that makes it where we get the date. And so looks like these questions are, a couple of them are out of order. I'm just going to go through these real quick and answer them. There's no new questions that you haven't seen before.
Now, will this also make it so that we have to answer something, or it'll give us a warning?
I'll have to double check. Well, we'll
Okay.
test it. I'll
Terry, I
leave
see
them
you have
on.
your hand up. Did you want to ask
I-
something?
Yes, question. I need to go back to the referrals, like to the YWCA. Will we still be able to do it in the system, the way we've done it, the way we've been doing it, or what will be the change on that? Or will there be a change on it?
Yeah, there is. So your current process is to fill out the form, right? And then
There's an
email them
assessment
and
for
let
that,
them know
yeah.
that you filled it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that form is built out. And I'm going to so I think it's just going to be the same, right, Shamika? We just need to attach the form to this page, I think.
So just to be clear, yeah, we would need that assessment on the YWCA referral assessment under the assessment tab. And then make sure we have under the programs that event that we can refer to. I guess, yeah. Aisha, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So yesterday we got an email from the YWCA that anything that we completed back in June is not applicable. So do we
Oh, I
have
didn't
to?
know that. Nice.
Yeah, so do we have to redo the entire assessment? Because they were saying they can't see it. I don't know.
I had to do
Sometime.
that yesterday. I
Oh.
had sent one in last week, so I had to redo the entire thing.
The
and
entire
send it
thing?
in.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Darn, I wouldn't even know who I referred, so I hope they let me know. Does someone else have their hand up? Nope. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to keep us moving.
Yeah, I have dial pad at 1 o'clock, y'all. Dial pad. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Next.
So you answer all the questions. It's the same deal. Like you're just answering all the questions. You get down to where you see this little triangle that just reminds you if people are literally homeless, you're going to complete the TAY or the VI SPDAT or the family SPDAT. You don't mess with this veteran eligibility part, and you click save.
Ooh,
And so it's letting you move forward without completing all the fields. So I can fix that, Megan.
Thank you.
another
Because
quick
y'all, what
question.
we did is we put in just all the stuff, you know, the basic demographic things and the pre-screen diversion prevention, along with housing strengths and challenges, credit and legal on the CE assessment. And so if people are not literally homeless, then that's what we'll do, just the basic CE assessments, pretty quick. Right? Terry?
Another quick question. Okay, so for veterans, the referral we've been making to Veterans Bridge Home, will we still be doing that? Is that in the system?
I don't think we're gonna do that at this time. I mean, there's not it's a whole different staff over there. So
Yeah, that's a good
let's
point,
just
Mary
put
Ann.
that on
Sorry, I didn't
pause.
mention that to y'all. It's changed a lot, so we're just not doing that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna, because I also have at 1 o'clock. But you know, you've completed it, you hit save, and then it will take you to, you're just gonna hit cancel. The next thing you're gonna do is if they're literally homeless, you're gonna complete the correct VI SPDAT. I'm gonna hit start.
The good news, y'all, is that we have the individual VI SPDAT 3 on here, which is really comprehensive and has a really cool way of asking questions. And so I think we'll be able to, a lot of this we'll know the answers to, so you don't have to ask them again. Because we, like, for example, already know if they're LGBTQ+. But then also, this might help us reduce some of the supplemental questions too, just FYI.
Yeah, and we're gonna be looking at, we're gonna be looking for any I don't know if somebody can mute whoever's not on mute. So we're gonna look at this new tool and the supplemental tool and also the CE assessment to identify any redundancies. Just upfront, big key things: primary language, do they identify as LGBTQ, where they're being surveyed, do they have pets, are new questions. And then there's some other questions about like basic needs, like social determinants of health. And then the majority of the other questions are the same. I already went through and answered these. And so, and some of the
poured over?
information, yeah,
Excellent.
it's ported over. So I'm just going to hit save. And what you're going to notice is this pops you up to a scoring screen. So you'll see what their score was on the VI SPDAT for the different sections. There's this referral directly to community Q button. You're not going to hit that yet because you're not done yet. You still have to do the supplemental tool. So you're going to hit cancel. And then the next one on the list is a supplemental tool. So you're going to hit start. It tells you it's been done recently. You want to do it again. And this is the supplemental tool listed here with all of the questions. So you're just going to go through those, hit save. And you're going to pop back to this screen. This is going to tell you what their score on the supplemental tool is. And at this point, you're done. Your last step, and something you didn't previously do, is you're going to hit this refer directly to community Q button.
And this is for everybody who's literally homeless, no matter how long.
Right.
Okay.
And then you're just going to hit send referral and then cancel. You don't have to do anything else. And then what will happen on the back end, so you won't complete this assessment, but it will be completed by me. There's going to be a total vulnerability score. And so you know how we have the, actually I have it up, how we have these formulas that we use for different populations to calculate their vulnerability score based on their risk factors. We have built this out in the system. And so basically you will get to see, if you look down here, hold on. If you look down here, you can see what their score is. So this tells you this person total vulnerability score, the score that we use to prioritize, is 13.6. And so that's not going to be instantly available after you do the coordinated entry, but we'll be updating these scores on a regular basis. And so the person's vulnerability score will be stored in HMIS. I know it's been people have wanted to know the supplemental tool score or the vulnerability overall score. And so those are available to you, but you don't have to do anything on that one. You're just doing coordinated entry 2023, whichever VI SPDAT is the correct one, and the supplemental tool. And then once you've completed the supplemental tool, which should be the last assessment you complete, again, you're gonna, well, this one's already on the community queue. So if they weren't, you'd have that button, you'd click, send a referral, but this person, they're already on the queue because I just sent them there. So there's nothing to do, just hit cancel. And then files, if you're meeting them in person, anything you want to upload can be done here. You select the file. We have a bunch of different categories that you can select from. Maybe they gave you their ID and you're going to upload it, and it's just add record. And then also, there's, Megan has talked about bringing back the, I don't know, what is it called? Like the follow-up form that you all used to complete within the system.
Yeah. Not sure how that would look, you know, because we do so many things telephonically, but
Yeah.
we
so
can
that's
think
not
about that.
a maybe. We might have a form there, or we might
Mhm.
in the future have forms here for people to complete, maybe even the PSH application, but that stuff's not built out yet.
Okay,
And then this won't really apply to you all. But, you know, if someone is staying outside, well, I mean, it could apply to you all. If someone is staying outside, maybe they're like, I'm camping, wherever they're camping, what is it, like 1210 North Tryon. You click add location. Oops, sorry, 1210 North Tryon, and click add. And so maybe that's where their campsite is. So if we send somebody out from outreach to go look for them, we know this is where they were last camping. And that's just not a requirement for people who are living outside, but a really useful piece of information if people are outside and they have kind of an address of where they're around for their campsite, so people are able to find them. And that is pretty much it.
to see Tamitha and Terry have questions. Somebody else too. Go ahead, Terry.
Okay, so if we need to abort an assessment because the person doesn't want to continue, or for whatever reason, can we abort it without error messages coming up and we can just be done with it, or how do we handle that?
What do you mean? What at what point in the
So
process?
like, let's say if we've started the assessment and the person, blanks out. It's like, I don't want to finish doing this. So can we just stop it without having the error messages to come up that we got to go back and do something and then just move on from it? How easy will it be to do that? Or is it possible to do just to abort an assessment? And then my other question is, when will this recording be available for review?
Well, I don't think we recorded it.
Oh, it says that.
Is it recording, Shamika?
Yeah, I recorded it.
Okay, sweet. So, Shamika, when will the recording be available?
Yeah, I need that.
And it's done doing what it does. I don't know how long it takes. So when it's done, I'll send it out to you guys.
Okay, thank you. So then my other question, can we abort without getting error messages and not being able to get out of the system?
Yeah, so like if you were in this coordinated entry assessment and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore, you just hit cancel.
Okay.
I mean, same thing with like if you're doing the VI Spidet, they don't want to do it anymore, hit cancel.
Okay. So cancel is my out.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Tamitha?
You're welcome.
I know this is probably gonna have to be a separate call, but what does data quality look like as far as corrections in here?
Oh yeah, that's a separate call.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get to that.
All
And
right.
then-
Yeah, we're trying to work that out. So I mean, we're gonna need a couple of weeks, but I mean, I've looked at the data quality and we had a lot of transformations applied when we imported the data that addressed some of the data quality issues, but also there are others that we did not previously have. So there were several clients that were accidentally exited. So I'm gonna have to go through and check who needs to be actually exited and who doesn't, and then we can move to the data quality piece.
Okay.
So basically, I got to hop off too, but just to summarize, we stay in the dark gray or dark blue, except for when we do the service,
Events.
yes, events. And then when we do when we're doing the assessments, we kind of go down, and then we have to make that referral to the by name community queue. Okay. What does the services thing mean on the very top there next to files?
We don't have that set up
Okay,
yet.
excellent.
You know,
Don't need to.
we talked about if people just call and they like want to ask Kamalis like, how do I get a referral to a food bank? And that doesn't require like a full enrollment potentially like tracking that via future services in the future, but I think not there yet.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to kind of type up a workflow and send this out, but I guess we start
thank
using
you.
it starting now.
No,
No? Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not ready. I mean, I feel
Well,
ill
so
prepared.
do we have to start tomorrow, I guess, or what is that
So
expectation?
we're not gonna have an opportunity to just kind of practice doing this like we did with HMIS. I mean, I'm not ready. So everybody else might be, but I'm not. I need to practice on doing this. I don't.
I think
I just love your honesty.
I think it would be a good idea to give us all some practice time, because it's like
Yes.
this was a good presentation, Mary Ann, but it's like a math teacher that knows how to do math and they kind of fly through it. And you know, I think we need some practice time.
How much time do y'all want? Like, what would be reasonable?
I mean, be reasonable. I mean, this is a lot to digest.
Oh, no, it sure is. I'm just,
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm feeling rushed because I have to go to the dial pad meeting, but what do y'all think is a good amount of time, or what, and how much is okay as far as Shamika and Mary Ann? What do y'all think?
I mean, I think like we need to go ahead and pull that data from the existing system pretty soon. Shamika, do you have any thoughts, or do you want to rally and come back?
So CE is not built in the training site. I will
Yeah.
preference with that. It is not built in the training site. It is only built in the live site.
What does that mean?
That you can only practice.
You only
in the
practice if
live
you
site.
could. Right.
That
We can only what?
You can
I'm
only
sorry, I didn't
practice
hear
in the
you.
live site, and I guess we would use Wonder Woman and Trixie Do Well and all those. Well, anyway, back to the original question. I mean, and y'all can think about it, discuss whatever, like I mean, how much time could you afford us to practice or whatever in the live site with fake names?
Can we circle back? Because I'm 5 minutes late to another meeting.
Me too.
Sorry. So let me and Shamika talk and then circle back with y'all by the end of the day. Is that cool?
Yeah. Okay, so for now, we're using the old system. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out. No big deal. All right.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Thanks, y'all.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt
Bye.
y'all.
Don't drop
Bye.
off because I'm still good. So let's talk this through. How much time do you guys think is reasonable to just kind of wrap your head around it and play around with it in the live site with those test clients that we have already? And be honest.
Can we start fresh on Monday?
I would say next week.
You think that's enough time?
I think so.
Terry,
Me too.
Bermuda, y'all look quiet.
Oh, I haven't been quiet.
Well, it's like
I brought it up.
I mean, we
I ain't been
still,
quiet.
I mean, in terms of, you know, practicing and playing with it, we still got our regular job going on as well.
Exactly.
You know, and like right now, I got like a ton of calls to go through on the hotline. And so I think that we just need to maybe just block aside some time on a day or a couple of days and just let us play with it, you know, and, you know, just the regular CE can be just like maybe the morning hours, give us the afternoon hours or something like that.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
And will we have the recording? Like, when do you think we'll have the recording, Shamika?
As soon as it does, you know, it has to do this, like, let me stop